One thing that we talk about a lot on the show is transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it seems like there's been a huge priority on, at least here in the city of Tampa, roads in the county. It seems like the city roads have been crappy for a long time, potholes, et cetera. And I know this goes beyond the state. This is local and county issues, but still. We also talk about, a lot of people that follow this show, myself included, want to see some sort of a rail network
Mm-hmm.
here locally. Is that something, do you think, that we can get done here locally? We've been talking about it for a long, long time. It's came across governors back to Jeb Bush. I mean, we've been talking about this for 25, 30 years.
So let's take a big step out, right?
Sure.
Let's talk about roads. We have a congestion problem, right? We've had 8 to 1,200 people a day moving to Florida for the last couple of years. There's a lot going on, man. If you get up on 54, you want to see what growth looks like? Bonkers. How many subdivisions have gone in up there? How busy the road is. We got to move people somewhere, right? We have a density issue. I think you're going to see more roads like the vet, honestly. Let people pay if they want to pay. Otherwise, let's get the roads as clear as they can. That helps offset a portion of that, right? We've got to fix the city roads. Yeah, remember the whole 0.5% tax and all of that? Well, we got about 270 million coming in across the county to repave roads because of that. That's incredible. That's going to make a difference, but that doesn't solve the problem. That extends the problem, right? We get about 10, 15 more years out of a road with about a 3/4 inch to 1 inch lay of asphalt. Let's talk about rail. Rail is incredibly expensive. And where you run into the problem is the eminent domain side of this. Where are we going to put it? And are
Yeah.
you talking heavy rail? Are you talking light rail? Are we talking about Brightline? I think you'll see Brightline come in here. So you're going to go from Miami to Orlando into Tampa. I would love to see that get all the way out to Tallahassee, honestly. But we've got to rethink mobility. Let's talk about buses and things like that. Hart isn't a Hillsborough area transportation solution. It's a city bus, right? Hillsborough is very diverse. You have the East County. It's farms, man. It's strawberry fields. How much are we doing out there? You have up north where I live in Odessa, not a lot of buses getting out there, right?
No.
Out west, as you get out towards Pinellas County,
West Chase.
West Chase, correct. And even down south, a little bit further within a district, completely different demographics. People need different things. They want different things. We can't have a solution built for a city that doesn't exist. And what I want to do is really rethink that. And a couple of years ago, that's what happened with Hart, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to ask questions about, is this really going to solve the problem? I think you want to have Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough working together to solve problems
For
of
sure.
transportation. The last thing I want to do is pit the counties against each other because you're just creating log jams somewhere else. I think there's some long legs there and some point to point. Think of this like Uber, but a county system. We'll call it Taboober, right? Just for fun, because it's kind of cool to say. And, moving people where they need to go differently. But I think you also got to look out to the future. If we do light rail, you can elevate it like Jacksonville.
Right.
That's a possibility. But you also have things like AAM. We are going to be at the forefront of AAM. That right there, the AAMs are going to be absolutely incredible. You basically have three models. You have a freight system that's being talked about, which is going to be, Lowe's, Walmart, people like that, just moving goods, facilitating our economy. You're going to have point to point. Think of them as sky trains, kind of like that train right there, but in the air, going distances with 10 to 20 passengers. And you're going to have point to point models. Say you want to go to the Rays game and you're willing to pay an Uber Black price for a AAM vehicle, an eVTOL. Well, you can hop in at an eVTOL port, hop up, fly, drop to the one at the stadium, get off and go watch the game.
So this is Senate Bill 1662. This is news.
That's
This
my
is
bill, by the way.
This is your bill. This is May 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is recent. When you said AAM, in my head, I'm like, oh, autonomous vehicles. So AAM means advanced air mobility.
That's right.
Whoa.
We're doing this.
Whoa, this was your bill.
Sure was.
Quickly, I guess, talk about this technology. I didn't know anything about this. This is amazing.
So this is, think drones on steroids, right? It's automated. It's autonomous vehicles moving. They're electric helicopters or plane, hybrids moving across land. I mean, that's a great approximation right there on the screen right there. It's a people mover.
And the Senate bill defines where you can do this, or exactly.
So it sets the parameter to invest in, give tax incentive to grow this capability. We want to be the most hyper aggressive, the most welcoming state in the nation for AAM, for eVTOL aircraft. We believe in where this can go. This can solve our congestion problems, and we're going to do everything we can economically to facilitate this because we believe this technology will make a difference.
And the reason this is a better bet in your eyes than rail is, like you just said, rail is incredibly costly, billions of dollars, right-of-way issues.
It's cube space. So when you pack out, you can only do so much. We have a congestion problem, right? Go down to downtown Tampa, you've put a lot in a little bit of space, right? It's crazy. We have a drainage problem. I mean, if you're on Bayshore in a rainstorm, we have problems. We've got to solve those too. What do we do first, right? Do you know how much fuel flows through our bay?
I believe it's a third of the entire state.
It's greater than that. The plurality of the fuel in our state runs through the Tampa Bay region, through our bay area. So when hurricanes happen, bad things happen to the state, right? If we've been hit head on by either of those, that is a huge problem. There are things we have to solve there from resiliency and hardening is what do you prioritize first? There's only so much money. We're not going to ever be New York and California. This is a bipartisan thing. Like, we're not going to spend ourselves into oblivion because in the end, you're just not functioning as a society. You're just upside down, nothing works, and you have all the tools and nobody knows how to run them, right? We've got to do this in a thought out, effective economic approach. And I think it makes sense because let's look at the ground. Where are you going to put those? If you're going to go to downtown Tampa, where are you going to put the rail if it's a heavy rail? It's not functional. It's not possible.
The only option is the existing CSX tracks and basically the infrastructure you have that's been there for 100 years.
So the CSX tracks actually have to be shifted and changed to meet modern rail for passengers. That itself is an issue. You still don't have the land demands. So Mr. Moffat, the former speaker, he and I talk about this all the time. He is a huge proponent of rail, and I'm not against it. But to me, if you're going to do this, you have to do this in a cost-effective way because I'm not going to dump more debt on our kids. I'm just not. I've had enough of the federal government spending us into oblivion and just making money. We got to do this in a smart way. I believe AAM is the way to do this. I do think that light rail is something you can discuss, but it's got to be purpose-built as part of a larger grid. You're not trying to get everyone to move on rail. You're not trying to get everyone to move on IAM. I'm trying to shift congestion from those areas and free up the roadways for people to move.
That piece right there, I think we're totally on the same page. I love the idea of having a diversity of transportation here in Florida. Mm-hmm. If you shove everyone on the roadway, we're going to get what we've gotten in the last 50 years.
That's right.
And it's going to get worse. The diversity of transportation, if you can get cars off the road, and here's the thing too, you don't have to, you could say, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Advanced air mobility, I'm never going to get on that thing. Great. Someone else will, and that's one more car off the road.
100%.
Right? So having that diversity of travel gets cars off the road. That's
it's
the whole
making
idea.
Sure that we have an economic model that's affordable for people. Right? And I think what you'll see is different scales. You're going to have exquisite luxury, a Rolls-Royce, a pointed eVTOL aircraft, and then you're going to have a Toyota, right?
Hey guys, if you want to watch the full episode of this clip, click right here. Make sure to subscribe by clicking right here. Thank you for watching.